And welcome back. We're going to talk Manchester United next because while they did take all 3 points against Nottingham Forest, that is their worst ever start to any Premier League game. They conceded 2 goals in the opening 4 minutes. And it's not just that it's a one-off. It feels like it hints at deeper issues at Manchester United, or it highlighted deeper issues.
I'd say, you know, especially with the sit-in, I'd say to Man United fans, continue. Don't just sit in when you win. People saying, oh, you only sit in when you lose. But they should. I was quite pleased to see them do that sit-in when they lost. But, like, you look at Man United and it has to come from upstairs. There's too much going on. There's too much toxicity around the place. And the sooner they change that, I think, on the pitch, because I think they've got the players. You can see the fact that they came back. Bruno Fernandes, whatever people say, he's literally lifted the team up and he's dragged them through. They've got that quality. But I just think that there's just so much... It's just too up in the air. Players just signing. You know what I mean? Everything was happening. Nothing seems to can go right for them. Even though they've gone 20 games unbeaten at Old Trafford. Nothing seems to go right for them because there's too much going on, I think. It needs to be sorted out upstairs. Yeah,
it does feel like a club where you walk in on match day at Old Trafford and there is a lot happening.
Absolutely. I got trapped in the Munich tunnel last year on a protest day for a home fixture. It was that fixture against Leicester, actually. And, yeah, it is a place which is rumbling, and it sometimes is a little bit painful inside the stadium because you can feel it, even when they win. Like, yeah, OK, they got 3 points yesterday, but, you know, against a team like Nottingham Forest, if Man United talk about the team they want to be, this big club, you know, that dominates the Premier League, then no disrespect to Nottingham Forest, but you need to be beating them comfortably at home, and they're not doing that. They're 2-0 down, and on another day, if it's not a penalty, you know, they're not getting back in the game. They're maybe coming away with a point at best. So I think that it does highlight deeper rooted issues, and so many of those goals you could dissect and say that's not good enough, and those are things which you ask any of the old, you know, Manchester United players of old, they would not do that. The mistakes are basic footballing mistakes, and they just haven't been addressed for the last 4, 5, 6 years.
And I think this is the issue, which is why we're not pointing at this game and saying, yes, they should be comfortably beating Nottingham Forest, and yes, they shouldn't be making individual errors. But it doesn't feel like a one-off. It feels like this is a longer-term problem, as he was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, the build-up to this week's been dominated by former players saying, look, pull your finger out. You know, you need to wake up. You are sleepwalking towards a problem. And then suddenly they go 2-0 down in the first 5 minutes. Initially, I did think to myself, is this a group of players not playing for the manager? But I think overall, United are affected by a couple of things. One is the takeover. Is it happening? Is it not? It's affecting their transfer strategy. I would not have given the captaincy to Bruno Fernandes. I think Varane is the winning most player in that team. He should have had the captaincy. I think Fernandes is a fantastic player, but focus on playing, because there are too many moments when the going gets tough where you are in danger of losing Fernandes. He's a very emotional player, and he gets involved in incidents with the referee and with other players that he shouldn't get involved in. And then, of course, you got those basic mistakes in as well. That's 3, not 2, but sorry. I just think there are far too many problems.
That's a fascinating point about the captaincy, because I look at that squad and I'm like, I don't know who the captain should be, because I agree on a certain level with Bruno Fernandes. I think he's a quality player, and the stats back that up. He makes things happen. He scores, he assists. But Liverpool away last season, 7-0. He threw the towel in. And as a Manchester United captain, can't be doing that. And that carries on through. That's you. That's who you are. And I think that moving forward, I mean, there was so much noise around Harry Maguire. And you know, I feel for Harry Maguire. I don't think he's had the professional support he is owed for being, you know, diligent in this whole difficult process for himself. But I think that looking at that squad, I'm like, I get what you're saying about Varane, but I don't even think Varane looks to me like a captain. In terms of the way he plays, I think all the players are not scared, but there's too much noise around the club for anybody to take it by the scruff of the neck and move it forward in the right direction. It's a tough time there.
What I would say with Bruno Fernandes and the captaincy is that he is somebody that with the passion and the way he drives the team, you just feel like if they could get rid of everything that's going on around that place and get everything sorted, the recruitment, the management side, all that stuff, he just needs players around him. For me, whether he's the captain or he's not a captain, he needs players around, because we can see
some great captains. Did they? You know, Tony Adams was a fantastic captain. Yeah, you've had a number of other captains for England and for Arsenal. Do they need other things, or are they players who lead with the armband or without the armband?
Well, the thing is, Tony was obviously a captain led by example with what he done on the pitch, the way he carried himself. Obviously, that's the captain that we all know, the upstanding guy, the one that doesn't do things like what you mentioned, what Liverpool. I could never dream of him doing that, someone like Roy Keane. I could never dream of them players doing that. But in the current climate, the way he's playing, and people seem to give the captaincy to the best player, the most influential player, he's somebody that, when you watch how he plays, he looks to me like he's very frustrated. He needs better players around him, much better players around him, players of the same stature and higher, so you can hold him to account as well. I don't think there's many players in that dressing room that can say too much to him, even though you can see Varane's won a lot more than him. But I just feel that he's somebody that's got it because he's the biggest personality in there. He's not afraid to speak. He comes out and speaks all the time after games. And I just feel that his performances as well is what's got him that.
Yeah, I agree.
He does those things. I think he had better players. He might be a different player.
But how do you think his body language? Because he shows negative body language when somebody's not on the same page as him. If he plays a through ball and no one's on the end of it, if no one gives him the ball, his body language is negative. And I don't think you can have that as a captain. That's not me not saying he's a good player. He's a good player. But
those are the things.
But how does that then affect you?
Well,
my body language is bad,
me.
it affects you.
That will affect me.
And then it affects
that would have affected me.
Yeah. Would you have ended up having a row on the pitch?
Probably would have had a row. The
Definitely on the training ground.
Captains that I had would not put
would
in
never
that,
put you in that situation. Look, there's a lot to be fixed at Manchester United, as you said. It's a place where it does feel there are fault lines running throughout it, and they may yet be able to get past them. They've got Arsenal up next. It's going to be fascinating to see how that one goes next weekend. Should we bring the mood down and talk a little bit about Arsenal? You're not too despondent.
No,
it's only a draw against Fulham. But having taken the lead in that game, you know, you go behind really early on. You think, right, fine, we'll play our way back into it. This should be, let's lose our head.
Yeah.
It did it, but to concede that equaliser, is that what will make it all feel very flat?
That's probably, yeah. And it's early in the season. It's something that you want to, if it's going to happen, it happens now, so as people can look back and see, right, what are we doing? What's lacking concentration? Yes, the manager's moving things around, certain players not playing that fans want playing. But I'd still feel that we showed enough in that game where you say, OK, we've got that about us, but the lack of concentration, the conceding of goals early in games is a big problem for me at the moment, because if I'm any team coming up against Arsenal now, I'd say, OK, let's start fast. And then at the end, let's stay in the game. If it gets to the end, let's stay in the game, and then let's see, because they're conceding goals as well. So I think they're it's being one of the teams that's meant to be up there, meant to be challenging. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that, and I still feel he's trying to find things out. You know, Thomas Partey in that inverted. What's going to happen
Where do you stand on that, the Thomas Partey at right back?
Well, I can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get an extra man inside there, you know, so as you can keep the play moving, another midfielder in there, you know. But then when Zinchenko comes, then you've got to, obviously, then Declan Rice, who likes to play on the left. There's a lot of things that he's going to have to do, because Zinchenko, is he going to come in? Is he going to play Wright, Saliba, Gabriel, and Zinchenko when he comes back? Is it Partey and Rice? So there's things that I think fans would maybe like to see go back to a kind of bit of normality. But I think that if you're going to try something, then you try it at this stage of the season, see how it works. Because I think last season, at the end of last season, he was starting to use Partey in that position. Not sure it's working too much in respects of the fans. I don't mind it when dropping in there, but I believe that our biggest worry is concentration just now, because we've got the quality, we've got the ability. It's concentration.
Look at those fixtures, though. Manchester United, then Everton, then it's the North London derby, then Bournemouth and Manchester City
this is the Premier League,
before the international break. Chelsea on the other side of it. I mean, I know it's but you can have a more comfortable run of fixtures.
You can, but like the thing is that Arsenal, with the monies we've spent and the players we've brought in, the attitude of the team, the attitude of the manager, we're not bothered about the fixtures. It's about getting to that next game and making sure that you don't lose it, and putting the kind of performance where you don't lose it. Worst ways, you know what I mean, you don't lose it, and then you win it, because we're in a different mindset now. We can't look at them teams and worry.
What we were saying about Newcastle earlier.
This is where Arsenal are.
Do you think Partey will play it right back in those games?
I think that Mikel, he might go with it, but I'd probably I'd get the back four back in with Ben White and Saliba and Gabriel and Zinchenko. Then Zinchenko inverts. But then what happens with Declan Rice? Does Declan Rice go on the right side? I know he prefers the left, but I think that this is the time to experiment. Let's see how it goes. If it's not, then he can go back to what he does, 4-2-3-1 or whatever he wants to do, 4-3-3. But I don't mind it at the moment, because, again, it's like when Arsenal draw, it's like it's like a downer for everyone. We've only drawn the game. We've drawn the game. We haven't lost the game. God.
But if it had been a late equaliser scored by Arsenal, it would feel a lot different.
It would
than
have
it
been,
is
yeah. And
conceding a late equaliser.
I was kind of like
you were a
having
little
myself in my house. I was having myself because we got to 2-1, and then Paulina scored, so it shut me up.
So Mikel Arteta experimenting with bringing a full-back into midfield, or as Ange Postecoglou calls it, just copying Pep, mate. We are going to look.
Ramping up on some teams because we've got, what, about 20 minutes left of this transfer window. And once it's shut, it is shut. So there you go, 20 minutes and 35 seconds and counting. So we'll still be on air. And actually, I've got some breaking news for you because Manchester United have confirmed the signing of Sofia Amrabat on loan. Good bit of business there.
Very good. Top player, but it's exactly what they need. I mean, Man United at times, I watched them against Wolves. The following week, you could literally put, it was like a knife through butter in their midfield. So he comes in, he's everything they need just to shore them up, give them that support next to Casemiro because he's looked quite vulnerable at times. So real top player.
I don't know about you, John, but I absolutely loved watching him throughout the World Cup. We followed him, all of us, didn't we? And you know, Morocco did a really good job of getting all the way to the semi-final.
He was brilliant in the World Cup. I thought he was disciplined. I thought his intercepting was brilliant, and not only intercepting balls, sort of. And then winning the ball back and making sure that you give it to a Moroccan shirt. He never wasted the ball, very disciplined, and I think he'd be a great signing for United.
Well, they have a big game, don't they, coming up this weekend at the Emirates against Arsenal, and we're going to hear from Mikel Arteta, followed by Erik ten Hag.
Kieran, Nuno today, good thing for them and for the club?
Well, we're working together to find the best possible solutions, and we found them. And I think the players are happy, and the club in general. I think we did some good business as well.
With Balogun, it's obviously a permanent deal and a good deal as well, because pure profit, an academy graduate, and I think a 17.5% salon clause as well.
Well, we didn't have now space for him in the squad to give him the minutes that he needs, and he did really well just last year in his long period, you know, and he's evolving the right way. And he wanted as well the chance to continue developing his career. He's going to a really good club that have huge experience on developing talent, as everybody knows. So really happy for him as well.
It's deadline day. Are you as excited as the rest of us?
You should be tired. You've been doing that for many months. So I think it's the end, at least here in the UK, not everywhere, but at least here. So yeah, let's finish it in the right way.
Mikel Arteta. Deadline day, MADD, mad. Is it going to be a mad one or a serene one for you?
For me, serene. I don't have to do much more work. It's more all the recruitment, everyone, the boys, trying to finalize a few things still today.
And then having outs, obviously, because you did your business for Inns early on.
Yes.
Can you bear with us if I play a little game of stay or go?
In what sense? Please come in, you mean? I don't expect nobody to come in.
Stay or go? Rob Holding, stay or go?
No, I'm not going to reply anything, you know that.
So it's not stay or go, it's no?
There is nobody else coming in that we don't expect. That's what I can say.
On stay or go, obviously not staying with you in this international break, but going on England duty, Eddie, you pleased for him? So pleased. If someone deserves in this squad, that's him as well. An academy player that had some moment, you know, when his pathway wasn't very clear and he had to fight it through, and I just love his mentality, his work rate, how much he loves this game, and how hard he's fought, you know, to be recognized at that level in this country. To play there, you have to be phenomenal at something, and I'm so happy for him. Do you take personal pride in the part you've played? I think everybody that's been involved in his development obviously feels extremely proud to be part of that journey with him, you know, and everybody that was here at the academy with him, everybody that has been in that journey, his family for sure, they're extremely proud of him, so really nice moment for him. Manchester United, always a big game. How important is it you put down a marker this early in the season with a victory? Well, that's what we want. Obviously, we know the history between the two clubs and the games that we had in the past as well. Last year it was a really good example. So it's going to be an extremely competitive match, really a big battle on Sunday. And obviously we want to come away from that with 3 points.
Alice from the Premier League?
Hi.
On Manchester United on Sunday, as Gary touched on there, billed by many as a huge fixture, despite how early into the season we are just now. How much do you view this meeting as an early indicator of both clubs' credentials for the Premier League title?
I don't know. I think it's that early in the season. You know, we all want to win games. We want to play the best possible way, and that is not going to dictate. But obviously, it gives you momentum. It gives you belief. And before the international break, it's always very important to finish well, to win your game, and go back now in September with another block of games before the next one with a high.
Both league fixtures last season between you and United were pretty gripping. I think 9 goals scored between you. What is it about this encounter that makes it such a high-scoring fixture?
Well, first of all, the quality of the players. Obviously, there are a lot of offensive top players in the two teams, and they as well probably the approach of both teams, the way they want to play. There were some errors as well there involved, which hopefully we can eradicate as well. But normally it's very entertaining match.
Yeah, you remain unbeaten after 3 games, 7 points from 9, a return only bettered by Man City so far. You spoke though of your frustration at points lost in Saturday's draw against Fulham. How much do you feel that last season's title challenge has raised expectation around the club's ambitions this season for yourself personally and also for your fans?
We raise the level in everything that we do every single year, and we have to demand each other more and better, and this is what we do. And when you see the reaction when you draw a match, I think it's a great indicator of where you want to be and the demands that you put to yourself.
Okay, and finally for me, you've been fairly experimental in your lineups in your opening games so far compared to last season at least. So I just wonder, how happy are you with the effect that those changes have had on your team as a whole, and how happy are you with your players up to now?
Really happy. I said against Fulham, after watching the game twice, that we played 10 times better. I don't know if it was 6 or 10, but we definitely play 6 or 10 times much better. But this is about results, and one thing is to play really well, and the other one to compete really well. And what we didn't do is, when we had to compete in certain moments the best possible way, do that. But play 10 times better. I reaffirm you again.
Mikel, just on that, what is it that this formation that you played last week and this defence that you like so much that makes you play 10 times better?
What formation is it?
Well, you're the 4 at the back, Partey at right back, and then you've got Benwa, Gabriel, and then Kyrgios at left back. What did you like so much about that?
I think we discussed formations in a different way. In the other day, there were 36 different formations in the match. Against Manchester City, 43. So I don't know what formation we talk about.
Okay, will Rasmus Højlund be available to make his debut?
Yes. So we had a good training week, and so tomorrow we have a final training. But he's doing well. He's responding well. So he will be available for Sunday game.
We've seen Altay Binder arrive. Will he be eligible to be involved on Sunday, and will anyone else potentially arrive and be available?
He will be in the squad as well. Yeah. Altay, so happy. Now we have the keeper group. Again, is fully there. We covered every position, so I think we have a very good keeper group with the arrival of Altay.
Is there a chance of anyone else signing in time to play on Sunday?
What do you mean?
Is there any? Obviously, United are looking at some other options. Is there a chance any of them will be signed in time to play on Sunday?
Play on Sunday? Potentially, yes. Potentially, yes. Could be, but then we have to request it by now.
Does that mean Reguilon? Is he here?
He is here. He trained.
So he will be available for Sunday as well.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Just in terms of we're told about Amrabat and the midfield option that's moving close. Will that give you the squad that you
know
want?
that?
Well, I mean, people in Florence seem to think that's true.
Oh yeah, but there's so many rumours. But it's nice,
But would is that, if you got that position sorted, would that give you the squad that you want?
I think yes, we have done good business. We constructed a strong squad. and we are ready to go into the fight.
And does that also mean that we've spoken a lot about Harry? Scott McTominay's been mentioned a lot. Does that mean they are here, they are part of the squad, they have an important role to play?
Yes, if you see the shadow, and it's tough, it's really condensed. When you see last season, World Cup, crazy season, the season takes longer. 2 weeks, we played the FA Cup final 1 week longer. We had a short break where we really condensed pre-season again. So we need numbers, but also need not only numbers. You need also the numbers have to be quality. And I think with this squad we have the depth and we have quality players in, and we can be variable in variety systems, and we are happy with it. And what I said, we are ready to go into the fight.
Hey, Altay Bayındır, what do you like about him? He'll be the first Turkish player to play for Manchester United as well, so a big moment for Turkish football fans as well.
Yeah, we followed him, we scouted him very intense, and we think he has the skills that he fit in Man United, fit in English football, that he has the skills. So we are really glad that we signed him. And we are confident that he will make a lot of progress in the coming period, the coming years, and he will be a huge contribution to our game.
And you mentioned Sergio Reguilón has trained with the club. What qualities will he bring in that position? Is he up to being thrown straight in and replacing at fullback immediately?
He is a very experienced player, a player for big clubs, player already a lot of games. In La Liga, in Premier League, so he has, I think, a very good background. We have seen he can play very intense football. So we are happy. While we had a problem with Luke Shaw injured, Malacia injured, for a long time out. So I think we responded very well on that emergency situation.
And Sofiane Amrabat, I know he's a player you worked with at FC Utrecht. Again, really a player who could make a difference this side?
I can't tell, because I don't know if we can sign. So if we have news, we will report it immediately.
One more, if I may. Andre Onana, quite cryptic on social media about whether he might be playing for Cameroon and coming back to the side there after withdrawing from international football. Do you know any more about that? Because obviously the Africa Cup of Nations is in the Ivory Coast this year in January, and there'd be an impact if he does play.
I know everything about it, so of course we spoke about that situation before we signed him, and we will be in good contact with Andre, how to deal with the situation.
So is he able to play for Cameroon again?
But I said I'm in good contact with Andre, and we are on the same page. We know what to do, and also we know how we constructed the squad, how we can deal with it. But as I said, we have to speak about. And then we will make a decision.
Last question in this section, PLP.
Hi Eric. Historically, games between Arsenal and Manchester United have been big games. What are you expecting from Mikel Arteta's side, and what have you made of what they've done to their squad this season?
It's one of the biggest games in the Premier League. And how we're really looking forward, of course, that fight, and really always interesting games, intense games. I think it's very two teams who really play offensive football. The right intentions, I would say. The audience is always the big winner of that game. So really looking forward to have that game.
And just finally, the Champions League draw, what have you made of your group? And if you do get the additions that are hopeful for today, have you got the depth of squad to tackle 4 competitions?
I think, but therefore we need, as you say, we need the depth to go into the 4 competitions, but also our players, the most of them are international players for the nations. So they will go all over the world. So we have to cover that. We have to be prepared for that situation. that we always can put a competitive team on the pitch.
It's a lot of expectation.
He's quick, yeah.
just one final question, if I may.
For this section?
Yeah. There's a lot of expectation on Rasmus Højlund. Are you expecting him to make an immediate impact, or the people, fans in particular, you and the coaching staff, have to be patient with him? Because there's a big focus on him, isn't there? It's a big spotlight.
I think for every player, it's a big spotlight. At United, you have to perform. And so in every position and every player.
Is he fit enough to start this weekend, would you say? Or was that too soon?
Well, I think he's ready to start.
हेलो जी, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। तो अगर जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया था, हम जो है अरीना ट्रेनिंग केंद्र है और एमएस का भी मैंने आपको बताया था 131 132 हमारा एमएससी रहता है। तो फर्स्ट प्लेयर ने जो है मैं तो दरमियान में भी आ गया था, मैंने तो आपको ये भी बताया था 11 किल्स तकरीबन हमारे जब मैं गेम में एंटर हुआ था। तो जो है फर्स्ट प्लेयर के जो है 11 किल्स है, 5 असिस्ट, मेरे भी जो है वो 11 किल है और जो 2 है एक के 9 है और एक के 8 है। तो ये जो है गेम का रिज़ल्ट था। तो ये जो है मेरी आरपीबी 70 हो गई। अभी तो यार सीज़न का क्या है कि मिड चल रहा है, 70 भी हो गई। मैंने एक मिशन भी नहीं किया, खुद ब खुद ही जो है वो बढ़ती जा रही है। तो इसके अलावा हम जो है अब वो मैप करेंगे जो कि मेरे फेवरेट मैप से, वो जो है हम अब खेलेंगे। तो अब जो है कज़न का मैसेज भी आ गया, शायद ये क्या बोल रहा है। तो ये एक मैप है जिसका कोड है 074268। ये जो है 4v4 का मैप है यार ये चीन पीना। तो ये जो है ये भी एक अच्छा मैप है जो कि मैं अब खेलूँगा। यार आज तबीयत भी थोड़ी सही नहीं है, इसलिए मैं जो है सबसे पहले यार ये मुझसे जो है ये भूल ही जाता हूँ मैं कि ट्रेजर में जब आप आते हैं ना, तो यहाँ पर आपको सिल्वर पर ये कोपन्स मिलते हैं, करेक्ट कोपन, प्रीमियम वाले और क्लासिक वाले भी। तो यार ये मुझसे हर रोज़ जो है ये मैं भूल ही जाता हूँ। और ये जो है मैंने क्लासिक करेक्ट तकरीबन उस दिन मेरे पास 60 प्लस थे, 65 to 68 थे। मैंने सारे जो है वो उड़ा दिए, बट क्या है कि हमारा उसमें कुछ भी नहीं निकला, एक काम की चीज़ भी नहीं दी उसने। तो यार ये हर्ट करता है ना। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, गवाओ के थैंक यू।